All right. This next one is from Down to Earth Astronomy, and it's titled Why I Love Star Citizen, but this is going to be a double video in one. This one is titled Why I Love Star Citizen. Then there's a video titled Why I Hate Star Citizen from the same creator. So I think we'll combine them into two and see what he loves and what he hates and see if there's anything there that's really cool. So Why I Love Star Citizen from Down to Earth Astronomy.
A while back, I did 2 videos where I talked about 5 things I loved and hated about Elite Dangerous. And now the turn has come to Star Citizen, where we're going to go over 5 things that I both love
Whenever
and
that
hate
stops, I'll
about
put the video
game.
back up.
And in this video, we're going to go over 5 things that I absolutely love about Star Citizen. And then, in a future video, we're going to talk about 5 things that I absolutely hate about the game. Today's video is brought to you by Game Glass. With Game Glass, you can take control of your ship using a tablet or a phone. You can try out some of the free pre-made shards, or you can also make your own custom shards and share them with the community through the built-in marketplace. So gone are the days where you have no more rooms for all your key bindings. On top of that, Game Glass also supports other games like Elite Dangerous, so follow the link in the video description and try Game Glass for free. Use the offer code DTEA to get 5% off any purchase. And we're going to start the countdown of the 5 things that I love in Star Citizen with the graphics. There can be no doubt about that. Star Citizen is one of the prettiest games out there.
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
It is difficult to run, but my god, it is pretty.
It looks smooth
I often find
on your
myself when I'm
PC.
flying into landing zones and it just happens to be at a sunrise or at dawn. I just, stop for a second and just enjoy the view, because there is so many amazing views to have in this game. And I've had multiple play sessions where I've done nothing but just fly around and enjoy the different biomes and enjoy the different weather patterns and all that. It's just such a beautiful game, and with every update, CIG adds new things for us to go and take a look at, and new amazing vistas to go and enjoy. The second thing on my things I love about Star Citizen list is that almost perfect connection there is between the playing on foot and playing with spaceships.
That is...
It's very clear that these two things
for me.
Been thought of to purposely work together. It's the small things that I in the beginning thought would be annoying, having to run.
It is the singular thing that makes Star Citizen still a game that people care about. That, for me, I believe, is the singular thing that ties you, the person, to the game and makes you still want it to be great, want to play it, want everything to work, want to live in that world, is because you are so attached to the world, whether you're on foot on a surface, walking around a ship, in a seat. They did such a literally perfect job with that. It was perfect. And it's just about building everything else around that experience. That is the experience.
In and out of a ship, I kind of enjoy it. I actually think it adds a lot to the feeling that you not just land and then boop, you're inside the station. You can go, you can see your cargo in your cargo hold. You can grab it with a tractor beam. You can move the cargo around. And that extra connection between ship-based and on-foot gameplay just makes it such a unique gaming experience. And it just adds just to something as simple as trading. It just adds a lot that you walk through the cargo hold and you see all these boxes just lined up everywhere. Instead of it just being like a number on the screen saying there's 200 and whatever boxes in your cargo hold and you can't see them. Now the next thing is actually not that much about the game itself, but more about CIG themselves. Now you can critique CIG a lot, and a lot of it would be fair. I must admit that compared to what I've seen in other places, they do communicate really, really well. They are really good at showcasing not just what they're doing, not trying to they're trying to hide information from the community, but they want to show what they're doing, but they also want to show all the behind the scenes stuff that we normally
they are good at showing some of the behind the scenes stuff.
Don't see. Usually you would see if they add a new feature, they would showcase that new feature.
But that is a funny joke.
What they
I would
also
agree.
do is they showcase all the like behind the scenes tool that we as players are never gonna see or never gonna play with, but there's still time that
Remember, he's comparing to FDev. Fair enough. That's all we really need to know here.
they've spent building that's gonna help them moving forward. And I think it's really cool. From a like tech nerd's perspective, I think it's super cool when they do these like inside Star Citizen.
Frontier, the Elite Dangerous developers.
Show us, see, we made this tool and we can now do like ta-da, and it generated a river, and we can sit and alter it. I think that's super cool to see. The next up on my list is planet biomes, and it's kind of related to the graphics, maybe, but I still thought it was big enough to have its own point on the list here. Planets are
fair enough.
not
I think
just
that's fair.
like the same all over the place, right? If you take Microtech as a really good example, where you have areas that is like frozen wastelands, frozen hills and mountains, and everything is cold, and you move closer to the equator and it turns into this more like lush tundra kind of feel with pine trees, and there's like mountain rivers with glacial.
Right now, if I was to place a plot of land, it would be somewhere in this biome. I love the trees and all this stuff. I think it's
stuff
so
like
cool.
that coming down from the mountains, and just means that even though Star Citizen takes place in a relatively small star system with a limited number of bodies in it.
So apart from the connection from flying a ship to FPS, he hasn't said he loves anything about gameplay. I mean, there isn't a lot to say. There isn't a lot of gameplay to talk about, right? I think that's probably why.
For us to explore.
And I do believe your average Star Citizen fan may not be a fan of Star Citizen as they continue to develop the game, right? Everything we've heard so far is, in the early days was meant to be a little bit less casual. I imagine they will dial that back a little bit. But the more, as gameplay features get added, do you remember when Security Post Korea was added in 3.17, 3.18, where you are getting, if you get a crime set, you can only clear in one place? People lost their mind.
Because the biomes change as much as they do, it just means that there is a lot more on the planets to explore. You can spend hours exploring each planet if you wish to do so. And if you haven't done it yet, I actually recommend you sometimes just try to get a fast ship and go for a ride around some of the planets or moons, just to see what they have to offer. The last one on my list here might be a bit controversial, as it has also added some negative things to the game, but that is CRG's willingness to push the boundaries of what you're going to be able to do with a computer game. It's very clear that if they come up with an idea, if there's a request from the community that it would be really cool if we could do something, CRG, if the tools doesn't exist yet, the CRG is going to find a way to do it. The reason I think this might be a bit of a controversial point is because this, of course, is also one of the reasons why that we are now many years over deadline for when this game was supposed to be launched, and yet we are still stuck in this perpetual alpha state, because that scope keeps changing, they keep adding more stuff, they keep want to push into new areas. I kind of think it's interesting to follow, but I can also
I mean, it's called feature creep, and let's not ignore it. It's a real thing, and it's happening. And it's been happening.
From a let's get this game launched perspective, that it doesn't help with those deadlines at all. Now, that was my list of things that I like about Star Citizen. I would love to know what's your favorite thing about the game in the comment section below. And also, remember to stick around for the upcoming 5 things I hate about the game, so we can take a look at the downsides and the other side of the coin of Star Citizen. The subscribe button is right below this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in space.
All right, that was good. The thing that I would add to it is, the thing that I love the most is, I really like mining. I think the new mining update's really good, and I think that the group play and the things that they're doing to bring players together have worked, I think, really well. I think it's also showed some of the flaws of the pushing that they're trying to doing and and the fact that it's not working out very great, and that they still have more to go on with that, right? There's still a lot they need to figure out. So let's go into why I hate Star Citizen now from the same channel, Down to Earth Astronomy. So here we go.
Now, there is a lot of things that I really like about Star Citizen, but there's
got a haircut.
also a number of things that I'm not
I like
so
the
fond
haircut.
of. And that's what I want to talk about today. Today I want to give you 5 things that I hate about Star Citizen. And I should say that I've already made a video where I talk about 5 things that I love about the game, and I highly recommend, if you haven't watched that video, go watch that first, and then come back to this one after. Are you also struggling to find the perfect gift for family, friends, or loved one? Then check out today's sponsor, Under Lucky Stars. Create your own custom star map showing the night sky at any place or any time. It's the perfect gift ideas for anniversaries, weddings, baby showers, or any other special life event. In fact, my wife and I brought one for a wedding a few years back that's now hanging over our bed. And if you go to the link starmap.d2ea.com, you will get 10% off your order. Okay, we're gonna start this countdown in no particular order,
AI.
with probably the biggest mood killer there is in Star Citizen.
You hear that, Elliot? You're the biggest mood killer.
Which is wipes, bugs, and instability. Anybody who spent any amount of time in the
never
game
mind.
will know that Star Citizen has its good days and it has not so good days, where the game can be unstable to pretty much almost unplayable, whether it's due to poor servers, whether it's due to a large number of bugs, making maybe your favorite game loop unplayable for a longer period. And then of course there's the wipes that I understand is necessary for where the game is now, so I know that we have to live with them, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it, but every time a wipe is announced, I can just feel my will to go in and play the game kind of disappear, because all the effort I put into gaining rank, making money, buying ships, those kind of things, it's gonna disappear. I'm the type of person that really likes to go in and really like play around with game mechanics, and if
but you also have to recognize that you were able to achieve those goals way too quickly, right? It's way too easy to make money, and there's no money sinks or anything like that. So even if they didn't have to do wipes from a back-end problem perspective, they would have to do them just to keep things interesting, I feel like. I imagine their concurrent player list would go down significantly if, like, over time, from peak to bottom within a year would be 6 months to a year would be quite a significant percentage down. But that would be my guess. I wouldn't really know the information on that, because they also have the advantage of like always delivering new content with a wipe or without it. So sometimes you still pop in and check out the new stuff. But I do think from a money and ship purchasing perspective, there's a lot left to be desired there, and I think wipes kind of help that for me personally. But I've also heard the argument, and I really respect this opinion from a side of the game that I really don't like, and that is ship sales, is that players may have earned the same ship 3 times now. And you really expect them to continue to want to earn the ship that they enjoy flying. You know, a player with just an Aurora starter account, you expect them to want to always start from scratch and move all the way up to that big thing. I don't know, right? Like Tarkov is a game that has a lot of success with wipes, but it also really fails at endgame. You know, what do? There's not a whole lot there. So a lot of people just work through and then eventually move on to other games and play something else until the next wipe. And I think Star Citizen is a game that can fall to that fate quite quickly.
They have a change to that game mechanics coming up in a recently announced patch. There's not much point in going in at the beginning, like dissecting and spending hours dissecting a game mechanic if I know they might change it in an upcoming patch. It's not like CIG is like posting patch notes weeks in advance before they launch. So sometimes we can get kind of some curveballs for...
Yeah, I mean, GeoGaming says wipes... Or, no, it wasn't GeoGaming. Who said it? It was Knevel. When Tarkov wipes, everyone starts from 0. That's the beauty of the wipe. Yeah, we don't have that here.
From CIG when it comes to updates. Okay, next on my list, I have the NPCs. I actually think it's one of the things in Star Citizen that has a net negative impact on the game.
Yeah,
NPCs should be there
nothing
when they're working. But right now, more time than not, they're broken. They will be just standing still in rows, if you're lucky. They might be standing on chairs, on tables, and all other weird places. I get again why they're there. I get why they need
just
to
sit
be
in
there
the
at
elevator.
some point. But right now, they don't add anything to the game. I actually think they subtract something from the game by breaking that otherwise very, very well-built environment that CIG has built with Star Citizen. Sure, it would feel empty if the NPCs weren't there. But the other problem with them is, if you ever try to been to an expo hall where there's a lot of NPCs in there, the frame rate is terrible.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt about that these NPCs
You could shoot.
has a major impact on the game's performance. And I assume, since they're all gonna have to be managed by the server, that the server is also gonna spend a number of resources on maintaining all these NPCs. So for now, I wouldn't actually mind seeing if CIG just disabled all of them. Maybe not some of the shopkeepers, so we can still go and go into shops if we need to talk to them there. But other than that, disable them. Put them back when they're working. Okay, the next one is not so much the game and more a CIG thing. And that is CIG's very, how should I put this? CIG is very time optimistic. They have a tendency to have roadmaps update quite frequently. Should we put it that way? AKA, things get delayed. And things
Their
get delayed
roadmaps
a lot.
update quite
One thing
quickly.
is that features can get delayed. Fair enough. But also just the entire game. It's been quite a while. And the reason why the reason why I ended up putting this in the list is because it's when CIG announced something and you're like,
loot the box.
That sounds super
What's
awesome.
in the box?
I'm really looking forward to this because when it's there, it will likely be pretty good. But you also know that it could be years before we see something like that. For instance, when they announced new ships, if they
Here's the thing: CIG has so far yet to improve, to prove to me that they are capable of delivering a really good, really good MMO gameplay experience, right? Because we're not there yet. So I refuse to sit here and go, I think if they deliver it, it's going to be really good. Because we don't know yet. We're all here to find out. You know, and I'll go back to his I love you video. One of the reasons why we still stick around, at least I do, is I think that interaction between ship and planet and space and the player is so special that if they can put something even decent in this universe, it's going to feel that much better, right? I mean, look at the trash we've been playing up to this point, and we're still interested in it, right? So
the larger ships,
it's not
if they're
going to
just in
take
a
that
gray box
much.
phase, we know it could be years, and you were just imagining what the things will do to the game when they come out, but we also know that it could be years. It's been the same. There's been this talk about like Pyro is just around the corner, just around the corner, just around the corner, and we're still waiting for Pyro. So these constant things getting pushed and delayed kind of gets a little old. Another like more game design thing that I'm not a big fan of is the way the CIG has made this quantum travel. I know it's not faster than light travel, but the way they've made quantum where you're jumping from beacon to beacon, I actually would like if we were able to quantum more freely.
An Elite fan.
So we could control our ships, turn it.
Elite's quantum system is so much better.
And stuff like that. I really like the
So
approach
much
that
better.
Frontier took in Elite with
Yeah.
with their faster than light travel. That kind of makes more sense to me, and I think it would also add a lot to the and like exploration side of the game, being able to more easily move around planets and get to spots that are not necessarily close by to a quantum marker. You probably also tried this a number of times. You get a mission, the mission marker is like 200 kilometers from the
I have
nearest quantum
PTSD
marker.
right now.
And for some reason, the mission doesn't have its own quantum marker, so you jump there, and now you have to fly 200 kilometers with your normal engines, which is gonna take, let's say, 5 minutes. And
I have never
it's just not
seen-
a great game.
I have never gone around that corner. I have never seen this in prison before.
Gameplay, just flying in a straight line.
Why
for
is
5
there a
minutes, then
spoon
you come,
there?
You spend
Oh my god, he dug himself out.
30 seconds killing an NPC, and then the mission is over. So I would really like to see if we
I
could
never
get
knew that was there.
more like free fly around quantum travel. I think that would add a lot to the game. Now, the final thing on my list is the whole financing model around Star Citizen. There are things about it that I'm okay and that I think is fine, might even see like. there's definitely also a lot of things about the way that they finance the game that I don't like. So it started out with a Kickstarter, fine. After that, they are selling game packs for, was it 40 or 45, or how much they're charging right now? To me, fine. Okay, that's okay. I mean, if we go to Steam and see what they're charging for big games these days, that seems like a fair price. Okay, I can live with that. I will even say that the optional subscription service is fine too, because it is optional. It's something you can choose to go and do, and you get some extra stuff that might have value.
This route he took, I've never What? Listen, I'm listening to the part where he's talking about how he doesn't like the funding model that much, or certain parts of it. What is happening? This route is so different than anything I've ever used.
To some people, and not to others.
I'm learning a new way to escape prison.
About the financing of Star Citizen is the price on some of the ships, or most of the ships, to be honest. There are very few ships in the pledge store that I think has a fair price for what you get.
I've never gone this way.
What CIG is trying to do. I know that they are trying to actually prevent people from buying too many ships, because they don't want a situation.
Yeah, there's a different... He like came down. I jump across to the platform that he fell down to, then to jump across.
Where when the game comes out, everybody just has all the ships.
Oh, I just did it yesterday.
Cheaply.
I didn't take it this way.
So they want to keep the volume of ships low, but that also means that they need a high price per ship. So I get what they're doing. I just think it's sometimes it sends a greedy vibe. If you ask me,
it is greedy,
you look
man.
And say, okay,
I know people I know people don't want to just come out and say it. It is greedy, but here's the difference, and here's where I step back. They are greedy beyond belief. They are sucking their community dry of every single dollar they could possibly take from them, and they don't care. Okay, but they're doing it for, in my opinion, the right reasons, in the sense of, if they don't, they're never making the game. It is for the absolute need to continue the game's development. It is not to just, make their line their pockets that much. I'll always say this. There's tons of nepotism going on. You have Chris Roberts, you have his wife, you have his brother, you have people that he went to high school or like middle school with. They all work together, right? It's like Chris and his cronies, that have, some, there's obviously stock in the company as well, even though it's not like publicly traded, right? So there's the thing is that they spend most, if not nearly all of it on the game's development. Now, you can argue how the money was spent on the game's development is a complete waste of time, money, all these other things. I'm not a game developer. It certainly fucking feels that way to me, but at the same time, what do I know, right? But what I will say is it really does look like the intention to make the game is there, but the way they're going about it is definitely super grimy, right? FOMO tactics, all this other mobile game bullshit.
Get one spaceship for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And that might not even be a big spaceship, it might even be a medium-sized ship. It sends a greedy vibe, and I think that also has contributed a lot to some of the negativity we see around Star Citizen.
Jeez.
The fact that these ships are so heavily priced. While, again, as I said, I understand why CIG is doing it.
I've never jumped to that way.
I don't necessarily agree with their way that they've decided to price their ships. But now it's your turn. Comment section below. What is your most and least favorite part about Star Citizen? Post it below. And again, if you haven't watched that, 5 things that I love about Star Citizen, go watch that, because there's some cool stuff in there too. And if you want more Star Citizen content, subscribe. That is for free. Thanks a lot for watching. And until next time, I'll see you guys in space.
That's free, guys. Subscribing is free. But I think the thing that I hate the most is the lack of attention to detail when it comes to gameplay, and the always talking about how detailed and how great and how all these things are when it comes to visuals. The visuals are always the focus and the visuals affect the gameplay negatively at times, and it's very frustrating to experience these things when the game could be just so much better. Yeah, here, let me link this video to you guys. This is the hate video, but the love video should be linked on it for you. And that was Down to Earth Astronomy. Very cool. Thank you for that. Good discussion, I think. It was. He seems very balanced. I like this guy a lot.